The question is, what if Floyd Shivambu is a capitalist and he doesn't even know it? I mean, I saw his article, independent online article, on Sunday, where he's saying that industrialization would be the way forward for job creation as well as the alleviation of poverty. Okay? Don't get me wrong, he quotes all those superheroes of communism, um, all of those superheroes, the communism superheroes, Karl Marx, Lenin, and so forth. But what's interesting is that his argument all the way was an argument for capitalism. And he spoke about the motor industry, okay? He decries, obviously, the motor industry arrangements here in South Africa where we have industries in Eitenage, some call it Eitenage, of all sorts of motor vehicles coming from all these different countries. Your Ford Motors, which is a US company, Hyundai, South Korea, Toyota, Japan. You can talk about the magnificent German engineering feat when it comes to motor vehicles, the likes of BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Audi, and VW, Volkswagen, the Volkswagen, as they call it. He says, we're proud about this. You hear the president talking about exporting motor vehicles from South Africa to outside, but we don't set up a framework of industrialization and creation of our own South African motor vehicles. And he argues that we can do this. Why? Because we have Denel. Denel manufactures helicopters. Last time I checked, there was this military vehicle which even the American soldiers use it in war zone areas. It's kind of strong. They use it in places where there are improvised, they call them the EID, I think, the improvised, detonation stuff where it blows up motor vehicles and soldiers' limbs, But the only difference, and I guess it's a bit of an irony because companies like Denel, the SAA, Amsco, they were built by the apartheid government, okay? As they were seeing that more and more countries are slipping away, they're getting away, they're no longer wanted to be involved with the South African government, given the pressure of the boycotting of those companies' goods. I remember, I think it's Kodak, one of the equipments that the apartheid government was using to take pictures of what they used to call it the Dompas. Okay, so other countries started to protest against it and no longer want to use it, and they say, "Wow, we're not going to take pictures and be involved with this project of doing those pass documentations for Black South Africans from moving from one province to another. We're not gonna do that." Okay, so the apartheid government went to industrialize, went to make ways in which their farms in all these different places, or their farmers, can be able to produce their goods and make sure that those goods are on their way to be sent to all different places where they would be bought. So they introduced the railway tracks, which was a faster way to move. And with the discovery of gold, obviously, and other minerals, what they did, they started to make what we could call a freeway just before the N1. Um, I forgot the name of that road, but it links all the mines in the whole areas of Witwatersrand. Okay, and then as a result, big cities were then sprung and started to come up, right? So one of the other things that, well, Floyd obviously talks about, hey, our president always talks about, hey, we're proud of exporting citrus goods and all those not huge scale of production that would make a whole lot of billions in terms of dollars that goes outside. I mean, you cannot compare the exporting of citrus product with exporting of your BMWs from all these other different countries, apart from being produced in Germany and going to all these different places. I mean, our government is utilizing German motor vehicles. They're always in BMW and Mercedes. So they've got a huge footprint. Okay. So the argument that Floyd Shivambu says that the NEL should produce motor vehicles is okay, it's understandable. But the challenge is that if you see all those nations that he mentioned, the UK, the United States of America, and India as well, because he mentioned Tata, because the Tata got motor vehicles and so forth. If you look at those places, okay, as much as he said that there should be a good environment for these businesses to thrive, the US, like your Ford, I mean, Henry Ford came through and invented that motor vehicle. Why? Because of this individual freedom, individual ingenuity, and individual property for people to be able to thrive. Because with the EFF now, if you are a farmer and you're owning a farm, right? Okay? Remember, you're planning as a farmer. You own a farm, you buy 2 farms, you're looking at your business that maybe in the next 5 or 7 or 9 years you're going to expand. What's going to happen? The EFF government, well, it's a pipe dream. What they would do is come to you, say, hello, sir. We see you've got a farm, and you got 3 farms. 1 farm is it's being utilized. The 2 farms are not being used. We're taking this farm so that we can give it to our people for them to farm. Okay, so right there, then the interference of a state, they would grab those farms, and then after grabbing those farms, later on when you want to expand your business, maybe with the farm you wanted to have other hectares next to the farm that you're having or in that vicinity, you're not be able to expand your business, and as a result you get limited in creating some sort of an empire if you want to in terms of business. Okay, he mentions people like a Tata from India. If you look at that gentleman history, he had the Tata Steel. He built cotton mills, and so it has nothing to do with the government, obviously, of India. He just established himself. You look at people like Carl Benz, who invented Mercedes-Benz, named it after his daughter Mercedes. Those are the inspirations that mostly these people had to start from scratch and be entrepreneurs. So here in our republic, you have large corporate companies which obviously now have to, yes, maximize profit. No one is against that. But our government is lacking in terms of making sure that the small businesses are being uplifted or being given an opportunity to thrive as a result. Right now, all those small businesses, what are they being termed? There's this new word where things are essential, like the government have to choose that a church is not essential or a nightclub is not essential. You know what I mean? So as a result, there's no level playing field for all these other businesses, because the government, with its authority like a king, says that Some people have um, the right to be number one in terms of priorities, and the others to be relegated at the back. Okay, so interestingly, he didn't mention China a lot. Okay, in terms of industrialization, because with China, most of Chinese companies are partly owned by the state. And he also didn't mention this new motor vehicle that comes from China. Everybody's driving around here in South Africa. It's called a Haval, okay? And it shows that when you don't have individual ingenuity or individual freedom or and the right to individual property, it takes a whole lot of a long time and lack of imagination from an individual to come up with an idea like they do in the States to all the gadgets that everybody could be using it, right? I'm using um, a phone or editing software or a computer software, or basically even when it comes to aeroplanes from the Wright brothers, who also were given space in order to come up with such ideas that revolutionize the world everywhere, where then all other countries have to copy from there. So that's my little take of Floyd Shivambu talking about industrialization, and you can see he's on the side of capitalism as much as he codes the communism, Marxism, and Leninist entities in here. So one of these ideologies could be tweaked here and there, to make sure that our economy can develop, okay, can be developed without communism or socialism, basically, just to separate free market capitalism with crony capitalism slash oligopoly entities, and working with the government to run everything without allowing other small businesses to thrive. So that's just my take. My name is Mamuji, and thanks for watching the Mamuji Show, and I'm out.